Hi, I'm Mike and I very much child the 80s. In today's video we're going to pick up on a video that I did previously on the Whinney Banks estate where I went for a wander around. I said in the video that if people were interested I would cover a little bit more of the estate, and today I'm going to do exactly just that. So we're going to pick up the Weatherhead Avenue where we left off. We're going to mooch along Stainsby Road, take a look at what's there and basically head down to the field and see what changes have been made. As before, I think people that live on the estate might find my memories interesting, but also people that maybe used to live here and they can see what's changed and what they remember. So let's get on with that now. Okay, so we're starting on Stainsby Road, the corner of Atkin, and the first thing you'll notice is this building here, which I believe is a mosque or a multicultural centre now. I remember it as a kid, but I don't really remember what it was. It's had some extension work done since then, so I'm not really sure what it's used for now. The next thing you'll see is the Atkin Green Centre, which was built some years ago on the school field, Whinney Banks School Field, and you can see here where the railings used to be. Now I believe it's managed by Atkin, which is just over there in the old Lloyd's building. Certainly was the last time I used it. And it's a building that has various uses. It's got a lot of rooms you can hire. It has a sports hall, it has football pitches, that sort of thing. I have a memory of this because we did, when I was in Whinney Banks School, which is, we'll come to it shortly, behind Whinney Banks School, we did a traffic survey on that corner there, and it was the first time we were allowed on this field because this field was vast. You probably remember before this Atkin Green Centre was built, it was absolutely huge, the Whinney Banks School field. We now come to Trinity Methodist Church. Again, been there a lot of years. Still in use today. I used to use it as a youth club, and it was on the right here that we used to go in that main door and turn left. We used to go in there, and that was the place where we played badminton and all sorts. And I used to take my stereo because I didn't have one, and I used to take turns to bring all the tapes in, and then I used to lug it. Nanny used to come pick me up and he used to lug it all the way back to my nana's on Whinney Banks Road. Why I had such a big stereo I'll never know, but as you know, bigger is better. So we're going to make our way down Stainsby Road. We're going to go down Bruce just so that we've got all the streets covered, and we'll see what we come across. First we'll take a look at Whinney Banks School. Lovely to see that it's still the original building that I went to when I was a kid. Now when I was a kid, the Stainsby Road side that we'll come to shortly was the infant school. The junior school was on the Fakenham Avenue side, and the middle bit was empty. There wasn't really anything there. I believe it used to be a secondary school. But while I was there, so I left in '89, and I think what they did was they moved some of their junior school into what was the secondary school, and my last class there, so my last class in '88, was in one of the new rooms, which has obviously been an old secondary school room at some point. Now, as I'm led to believe, this side, which was the infant school, is now is it like a shoe start or something like that? Some sort of family hub, I believe. That's the way I used to go to school. We used to come back from my nana's, walking down that road. Doesn't look like they opened that now, or maybe they opened this gate here. The interesting fact, this building that just sticks out there, and the other one you can see just at the end, when I was a kid, they were the toilets, and you could just get to them from the car park. It was really weird that you could just access the toilets from the car park. You wouldn't dare do that now. I believe they're just office spaces now. You can kind of see on that one there, you can just see where the door's been bricked up. This was our playground when I was a kid. And as I say, it's some sort of family hub thing now. I think they do sort of healthcare and things in there as well. So So just so we've got all avenues covered, we'll go down Bruce now. Yeah, you can see that one's blocked off as well, the same. I didn't look if the clock tower was working. Can you see it through here? Is it still telling the right time? Yeah, it is. Brilliant. Let's keep walking. So we'll head down the top of Bruce Avenue now, just so that we've got everything. We've covered as many as we can of the streets. We pretty much went to the border last time, didn't we, at the far end, where all the new development was taking place. So let's cover these streets. Not a lot to change in these. These are the ones I like to see, where the buildings are original still. So we'll pick up here on Weatherhead, and then we can zigzag down our little side roads, and we've covered this side of the estate then, haven't we? It's always quiet here in the morning. I mean, I probably spoke too soon there, but it's really pleasant to walk around here when it's early in the morning. It's really quiet. I hear a lot of bad press about this estate now, it being a bit run down, a bit rough, but I don't think that's the case. Maybe certain parts of it, possibly, but I think that could be said for everywhere, can't it? Again, the new houses there on that side of the road. What we'll do today is we'll head to what I was always told was like the border of Whinney Banks and Atkin. And you may recall in my original video of the walk around, I'll put a link to that video in the description, by the way. I mentioned that even though I lived in Atkin, I always classed myself as a bit of a Whinney Banks kid, and you'll see why, because I can show you roughly where I used to live, and you'll see why I was kind of a Whinney Banks kid, and a lot of my friends, family lived in Whinney Banks and West Lane anyway. So we'll go down Derby now. Has it had some work done since the last time we came down? I'm not sure. Some roadworks going on that weren't there last time. So Derby Avenue, again, a part of the estate that's remained pretty much untouched, which is nice to see. And all the houses remain the same. There's a gate open at this end as well, so whether that's for the school or whether it's for the Shuastarty community hub thing, I'm not sure. Now, interestingly, on this corner here and just over the way there, you'll see these big green spaces. They were bungalows. And again, it's followed that pattern where on the Whinney Banks estate, for some reason, the bungalows were knocked down. And I don't really know why, because it's just left this big grassed area now. I'm not really sure what they got from it, apart from somewhere for the kids to run about and kick a ball in the road. Now we will head down Collinston shortly, but I just want to cover Greenland Avenue, because we didn't cover that last time. And if I don't do it, somebody will say, oh, we should walk down Greenland Avenue to see if my old house is there, or so-and-so's old house is there, or something like that. So we're going to walk Greenland Avenue. It's a little bit chilly this morning. You can see my breath. Another part of the estate where the houses have remained the same. It upsets me that a lot of the Whinney Banks estate was knocked down because they were really well built houses, and from what I understand, the regeneration hasn't really made that much difference. Just knocked down a load of perfectly good houses and they're left in the same situation, albeit with some more houses. There's that recently built house. I say recently, it's probably been there for quite a while now. I'm going to turn off left at the end. A lovely van. And this just leads us to the end of the field. I'm going to do a video about the field and the space along it, area along it. But not yet. There was talk of building on here. I think there was supposed to be like they proposed a mosque was going to get built, I think it was. It never happened. Whether that was put on, maybe it's the one that's on Green Lane now, or the one we've just seen at the bottom of Stainsby, I'm not sure. And head back down Greenlands Avenue now. Be interested to know why this red stone was put in. I know I've mentioned it before, but I think it looks really good. Probably too expensive, so don't do it now. I really like it. I'm back out on Stainsby Road. It's a big site, that. Was there 4 bungalows on it before? There must have been. I've noticed that a lot of bungalows, particularly on this estate, which you can see a bit further down Collinson Avenue, the bungalows got these ridiculously large back gardens, and considering that bungalows are sort of aimed at elderly people, how are they meant to maintain those gardens? I did a little bit of gardening during COVID, the organisation I was working for, because there was limited, we could do community reach sort of thing, so we did what we could, and one of the things we did was a gardening service, and I did a house up here just off Collinson Avenue, and the garden was like a football pitch, and I'm not kidding you, it was absolutely vast. It hadn't been cut for a long time. It took us a full day in the blazing heat to cut this garden. We had strimmers on it first, we had to rake it and strim it again, and then put the blades up high and chop it and let it air off, and oh my goodness, it was a really difficult job to do in the blazing heat. I mean, the lady was lovely, she kept us fed and watered, but it was very difficult to do, and I mean, that was for 2 blokes doing it. I mean, how was that little old lady supposed to do it? What we're going to do now, we're going to go down Ashford Avenue, which is here. And this is where I was led to believe Whinney Banks ends and Atkin starts, right at the brow of this hill. And the reason is that these are the originally council properties, and they may be private now, but these were originally the council properties on both sides, here and here. And you'll notice that they stop. So the houses that you see on the Whinney Banks that look exactly the same as these have even had the porches done as part of the modernisations. You'll see that they stop and you're met with private houses. So I was led to believe that this is where Atkin started, and this is where I live, just a lot on this estate. An interesting fact, a friend of mine, Gaz, told me that Ashford Avenue wasn't always Ashford Avenue, it used to be called Winnebrough. And funny enough, the maps that I've been using to wander around and figure out where the old streets were, and especially where it's been modernised and updated, actually shows that name. It actually shows the old road before it was adapted and taken all the way down to the bottom, and I hadn't even noticed that, so thanks for that, Gaz. I didn't realise. So Ashford Avenue was originally Middlesbrough Avenue, and it used to only extend just to say past Ensley Drive. Now this is Ensley Drive, and as you can see on the map, it only goes just to say past it, so this is probably the cut-off point here of where Middlesbrough stopped, and as you'll see on the map, it doesn't actually link through to downside as it does now. And see, I didn't know that, so thanks for that, Gaz. I must admit, it was a nice place to grow up. I had good friends, it was a nice estate, there was plenty of places to play. We could go on the field when we were a bit older, and we weren't too far away from Foxy's Wood and stuff, so I have really good memories of growing up on this estate. So I'm not going to go downside. Obviously this is the newer part of Ashford Avenue. This probably, I'm assuming it became Ashford Avenue when they extended it through and they lost the Middlesbrough name. Don't know what the reference to that is. I had a lot of friends that lived in this area here. Interestingly, this fence here doesn't look it, but it is more of a recent addition, because you used to be able to go through to the field from here, much like the other roads that I've showed you, where I just showed you the field there. A lot of them led to the field, and this one got fenced off some time ago. Now, a friend of mine used to live in this house here. These were his garages. He moved out, then another friend of mine moved into it, so I spent a lot of time in this area, but he said they've blocked it all off now. One of the part of the estate we used to spend a lot of time on was a field, as I've already mentioned. And this area that I'm going to take you to now, we called the garages. Now, can anybody think why we used to call it the garages? That's right, because it was full of garages. It's since been barriered and fenced off and all the rest of it, and the garages were knocked down a long time ago. Now, this is where they used to be. So the garages used to be on there, this was the field. Now, these barriers here block the A19, because the A19, as some of you may know, was widened. And it took away a lot of this field, a lot of the, what we call the pig alleys, the Whinney Banks field, and it took away some of Stainsby field over that side. So this was a lot wider originally. Now this path here follows the original path that used to be there, but it used to be up against like it was like a wire fence, and there was only that in the A19. It was quite close. It was a bit of a grassy embankment, of course, but it used to be quite close to the A19, so you used to like walk and ride up and down here, and you were really close to the cars. Obviously that's been widened and moved away now. Now this is all full of like prefab garages. I don't know why they were built. I'm assuming they were just to rent or lease, but they're very much similar to the ones that you get like at the top of Stainsby Road and like behind G's Chippy, where you've got like a nest of garages that just seem to provide parking for people that maybe don't have a garage. And I think that's maybe what these were built for. I can't see why they would have been built specifically for people of Ashford Avenue, because those houses were built after my parents' houses and things, as you see from the map, that the streets that my parents lived on were there before Ashford Avenue became Ashford Avenue. So I'm assuming they were built just to lease, to rent. They were knocked down a long time ago. I remember them going down. They were in pretty bad repair by the time they came down. I haven't been here for a long time. I mean, all this grass here wasn't grass. This was the road, and you had garages on that side and you had garages on this side. So where the garages have been, they've obviously, nature's taken the land back and just left us with this access road, which even then I think isn't original, because this looks a lot better condition than it has any right to be. So whether this has been recovered at some point, I'm not sure, because there is access to the back of the houses, I suppose, but you're not going to get a vehicle in, so I don't really know what reason they would have for re-tarmacking this, but nevertheless it looks like it has been done. I will do a video a little bit further, what is it, south, that covers a little bit more of that area. I'm conscious of documenting that because there is obviously proposed developments of Mandale Meadow that may affect some of that space, and I've got a couple of stories to tell along that sort of piece. They're nice old barriers, aren't they? And the old posts where the gate used to be to get through, obviously been removed and somewhat beefed up since. There's another one. So obviously you have to have some sort of vehicular access, probably for grass cutting maybe. So I head up back to Stainsby Road this way. Do I risk walking across the grass? See, this is all really heavy shrubbery, but I'm not sure if it's still there. It doesn't look like it. But there used to be a beck. There was a big hill here that went up, and you could sort of ride across the top of it and sort of back down, which must have been, a lot of it's been swallowed up for the development. But where all this heavy shrubbery is, there was a beck, and you can see where the ground dips down there, and it used to follow all the way at the top of the end of that tarmac where I stopped and turned around. But there's no water in it now, so whether it's been, you can see down there as well, whether it's been rerouted underground or rerouted completely when the A19 was put in, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it's a great field, it's massive, look at the size of it. Now I don't know whether to risk walking across this grass. You have a look, what's it like? It's a bit wet. As I said before though, if it's the end of the journey, you can live with that, can't you? You don't be walking around for an hour with wet feet. Right, let's go for it. Let's go across the grass. Probably regret it. You see a bit of a desire line there. Look, let's try and use that. It's a little bit flatter there. There we go. Lovely bright morning. Such a big space, that. I wonder why they just do build houses like. It puzzles me why the bungalows were knocked down. You can't really see a benefit for that. There obviously was. Maintenance possibly. Not sure. Back to Collinson. I head back down Stainsby Road. This section of the school here, when I was a kid, no one was like in it, and no one was allowed in it. I think they used to park cars in it, to be honest. I'm pretty sure. It looks like they use it for something now, because there's like benches there, isn't there? So perhaps they use it for a relief playground or something. No through to Fakenham Avenue though. One set of bungalows that have survived the cull of the bungalows in the Whinney Banks estate are these. Now whether it was just too difficult to remove them, I'm not sure, but these ones here survived, and you can see they're in pretty good condition still, so I'm not really sure why the rest of them got knocked down, because these ones have survived this long, then why haven't the others? They're really pleasant, really nice, and they must be the only ones that remain on the estate. Middleton Avenue. The original wall there. Back to Stainsby Road. And one thing I want to point out just while we're here, I was thinking about it this morning before I came out. Let's cross over this road. There's a Cambridge Hotel. It looks to me as if it's still closed. So let's take a look. Yeah. It's all boarded up, what a shame. Lovely building. One thing I want to point out though, I seem to remember as a kid this wall being built all the way around the Cambridge, and this grassed area suddenly became where it was sort of separated from the Cambridge. Now whether this land was originally the Cambridge hotels and they just sort of sacrificed a bit of it, I'll never know. I mean, there is a similar sort of grass on that side if you look at the wall there, so whether they just sacrifice a bit of land to make it more manageable, I'm not sure. I don't know whose land it is, I'll have to have a check, but it seems strange that if the council was going to leave this as a grassed area, why it would make it as a bit of a trip hazard like that. And I remember that little sort of cut through where that lady is there being put in, because we used to walk across it to cross the road a lot of the time, or people going down Cambridge Road would cut through it, and obviously it was getting worn and muddy, and council must have thought, right, we'll make a little cut through for it. Design line shows us where people want to be, that's what we'll do. You can kind of see where the engine's different, look, it was put in at a different time. And give us this little walkthrough. I remember running over it as a kid before this walkthrough came in. A lot can be learned from design lines, can't it? It helps with a lot of planning. And that's obviously been raised at some point. But yeah, it appears that that's still closed. So that was my second visit to Whinney Banks Estate. Always a pleasure, never a chore. I really enjoyed doing all the shop videos, and it always seems to get positive reactions and comments, so thanks for getting involved. I hope that was what you were looking for, and if there's anything else you want to see, drop it in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.